Here we are. Hey guys, let's scoot over a little bit. Oh, one moment. Let's see if that helps at all. No, we're having some features, so we're just trying them. One moment. Here I am. Hi guys. Welcome. It's Amanda with Once in a Wild. I'm having a bit of an echo with our other camera. So that's unfortunate. Sorry, you guys. Okay, guys, we're going to try it again. It feels like it's working better. I don't think I have an echo anymore, so I think we're good. Sorry about the wait, guys. Thank you for being so patient. We are having some technical difficulties, but that is just how it is sometimes. So thank you so much for joining in. Let's try it again. Because I have two cameras going today, and one's my phone and one's the laptop, so it is what it is. We're doing our best. So let's try it again and see how that looks. Let's try this. Oh no, I still hear an echo. Oh my goodness. Bear with me, guys. So we're going to try it again. We're just going to go ahead and add that second camera if we can, because I really want to show you guys some cool stuff today. So it's me, Amanda, with Once in a Wild, and we are bringing you guys some really cute animals today. Don't you worry. As always, we're going to be right here with you guys, bringing the beautiful animals to you. I still have an echo. That's so interesting. Well, we're just going to make the best of it. That's okay. It's not very loud, and if it doesn't bother you guys, it's okay with me. So let's try it. Here's my second view, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. We have our normal view, which is up here with me where my face is. Hi. And then we have a second view, which is kind of like a behind the scenes view. Kind of cool. You can kind of see where I'm sitting. My head's cut off, but you can see me over here. And if I want to switch, I can actually And going back to our regular view. Hi guys, welcome to our show. It's me, Amanda, with Once in a While once again. Let me know if there's a problem with any of the echoing. I hear it a little bit. Yes, I had to turn my sound off for a little bit, Lauren, because we were having technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up emoji or something positive so I know that you guys can hear me. And thank you, Cedric, for understanding about technology. It is what it is. So here we are, Once in a While. It is now 3:40, so let's get rocking and rolling and get into our show. We're a little bit late, so let's go ahead and get started. My number is right here down below if you guys need to call me for any reason. We are an animal encounter company, and we're taking the animals to you virtually now because of our circumstances. OnceinAWhile.com is where you can find us online for all of our social media links and all of our other information, even some photos of animals and fun things. Social media is where we have a lot more content for you guys to check out. And we are accepting tips via Venmo at Once in a While. So if you guys want to tip us, we should be okay. Thank you. People are coming in to check on me and make sure everything's okay. All right, let me know how it sounds. Okay, you can hear me. Mom says you can't hear me, but I don't know if that was a while ago. Can you now hear me? I'm getting mixed answers. So some say yes and some say no. So sorry about that. Yes, we can now. We can hear you now. Hooray. Okay, wonderful. So today, guys, don't forget there's tips via Venmo. We also have our Amazon wish list, which is another option for you guys to donate to our cause. That can be found on all of our social media, including Instagram and Facebook. You can find that list and donate to our cause if you want to via Amazon wish list. In fact, I actually got some Amazon packages today, really exciting. And we're going to do an unboxing video on Instagram Live right after this live presentation is over. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be learning about one really cool animal category. And last time we learned about amphibians and a couple of reptiles, right? The time before, I think, was a reptile program too. I'm losing track of days, as we all are right now, right? So forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the last couple of programs have been about our slimy and scaly friends, which I love. But I thought I'd change it up a little bit today and bring you guys some furry friends. So today, we're learning about mammals and only mammals. So I'm pretty excited. And we have some really cute mammals today. We're actually going to meet 4 different mammals today. So I hope you guys love them as much as I do. Our first mammal is coming right in right now. I'm going to adjust my camera really, really fast. And don't forget, all of our information is down below. Feel free to chime in with your comments, questions. Your support for us is always so much fun. Coming in right at you is Loki. Here he comes. There he is. This is Loki the ferret. And I'm sure he smells his food. So when we use him for programs, when he comes onto program, there he is. He's a ferret. You guys might have already met our other ferret, Thor. Thor is Loki's adopted brother, of course, right? So this is Loki the ferret. He's about a year old now. He is quite a large ferret. I get a lot of comments. He is so big. And he, in my opinion, is probably the most beautiful ferret I've ever seen. But I could be biased as well. And he's excited for his treats. So when we use him for programs, when he comes and works with us, he gets a very special treat of chicken baby food, which is what he's licking off of my fingers. If you guys have questions, feel free to chime in. But please understand that I can't really use 2 hands. That would be that would be very, very messy. Oh my goodness, he's so excited about his food. Look at Loki enjoying his treat of chicken baby food. Now, ferrets are really awesome mammals. Now, we talk about mammals. Mammals have a few different features that they all share. You guys probably know that ferrets are, of course, mammals. I said that already. Mammals have hair. That's going to be one feature of all mammals, including humans. And mammals use their hair for body heat, of course. But they all have to have had hair at one point in their lifetime, at some point. Even a dolphin is a mammal, so dolphins are born with a mustache of hair on their rostrum, which is their kind of snout area. They don't really have a nose because they have a blowhole, but a dolphin has a snout area. And when dolphins are born, they're actually born with a little whiskery mustache. That way they can find where to nurse on mom. So a ferret has hair all over its body. So of course they're considered a mammal, right? Pretty cool. They also have whiskers. Look at those beautiful whiskers covered in food. Let me help you out there, buddy. Oh my goodness. He's like, no, I'm fine. I can just have food on my nose. I don't really mind. Lick it off your nose. Boop. I'm gonna put it on your nose. Ha ha ha. So he is a mammal, of course, because he has hair. Mammals are also warm-blooded, which means they have their own body temperature, just like us humans, right? We're typically the same body temperature all the time, unless we are ill for some reason. We are about 98.6 or a little bit higher than that on a regular basis. We're not a reptile or an amphibian or a fish, so we have our own body temperature that makes us warm-blooded. Same thing with the ferret. Maybe if I scoot back a little bit, you can see him better. So ferrets also have their own body temperature like all mammals. And mammals also give milk to their babies. Most mammals do live birth, but there are a couple of exceptions. Let's see if you guys can guess the couple mammals that are exceptions and actually lay eggs. There's a couple of them over in across the ocean in Australia that actually don't give live birth, but they still give milk to their babies. And there's a couple of them that don't give live birth. So that's not really a feature of all mammals. The features of all mammals are warm-blooded, covered in hair. They are vertebrates like us. They have a backbone. And like I said, what was I saying? Have hair, milk to their babies, all those things. Warm-blooded, yes, mammals. So ferrets, as a domesticated species, because they are considered domestic, even though they are an exotic domestic. I know that's very confusing. But if you had a ferret, for example, you would have to take them to an exotic vet. You wouldn't be able to take them to just a regular cat and dog vet or even a large mammal vet. You would have to find a vet that can really see ferrets or other exotic pets, right? So even though they're considered an exotic pet, the ferret is considered, this type of ferret, is considered to be a domestic animal. In fact, all four of our animals, except for one, all 3 out of 4 mammals today are domestic species. So you'll be able to see some of those. Pretty cool. Now, also, this species of ferret, the domestic ferret, comes from a very special type of mustelid, which is in the weasel family, by the way. So all those animals that are related to ferrets, like otters, minks, wolverines, weasels, all those guys are in the weasel family, of course. And the species that the domesticated ferret comes from is known as the European polecat. That is where we think the domesticated ferret came from. Of course, I wasn't there back then when they were domesticated, a long, long time ago. They're about 2,000 years old as a domesticated species, long time. I was not around then, of course. So I don't really know for sure, but our best guess is they came from the European polecat. And the European polecat is not a cat. It is a type of mustelid or weasel. And they were domesticated mostly for use in hunting. So they hunt rabbits and rats and other things with them. These guys are a carnivore and also a hunting species. They are 100% predator. These guys are amazing predators. In fact, they can actually, the weasel family in general are known to eat animals up to 3 times their own body size. So you can see how big he is. Whoa. Imagine him hunting an animal about 3 times his own body size. Pretty incredible. You can see his big claws. Now, I do trim them, of course, but if they were allowed to grow out, they'd be super long, super duper long, even longer than this. See his beautiful claws. And those claws are great for digging. They're also great for kind of semi-grabbing onto things, just like he is now. He isn't considered to have real hands, but he uses his paws kind of like hands, like most other members of the weasel family. A lot of people ask me, is he related to a raccoon? He is not. Raccoons are kind of their own category, and raccoons have way more of a hand, even with a thumb-like digit, than a weasel does or a ferret does. But they do have very, very dexterous hands, and they do use quite a bit to grab onto food. Maybe when they're hunting, they might, kind of reach in and grab with their claws and their teeth. They are active hunters, and they are very, very hungry most of the time. These guys are animals as a carnivore that actually have to eat at least once, if not 3 times a day, to be able to survive. Typically, they want to eat about 3 times a day like us, but twice a day is pretty common, and once a day is very much minimal for them. They have a high metabolism for a hunting carnivore. Most hunting carnivores don't eat nearly as often, but their metabolism is very, very, very fast, very high metabolism. They are extremely active unless sleeping. And these guys do sleep pretty hard. They go into what's known as a dead sleep sometimes, which means they look totally dead. Their heart is still beating and they're still breathing, but they're not really responding to anybody stimulating them to wake up. but they sleep really, really hard, let me tell you. Cool, huh? Do we have any questions about the ferret so far? I can't touch my keyboard at this point, but I can see your questions pop up if we have any. Check them out. Now, like I said, Loki is a domestic ferret, but he does resemble the European polecat. This is what they actually do look like in the wild. So they kind of have like this dark body with a mask. Take a look, buddy. He's like, I only care about food right now. He's got that beautiful mask, which kind of looks like a raccoon and kind of looks like some other animals, right? That's what they would look like in the wild. You might have met Thor on one of our other animal programs, or maybe even in a live program. We do live programs with these guys too, of course. And a lot of people know Thor. Thor is white, otherwise known as silver. He's almost totally white, but he has dark eyes, so he's not an albino. He's a dark-eyed white or silver. And that is just a coloration that has been bred into these guys since they are domestic. Hi, everybody joining in. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Donna. Hi, Cedric. Hi, Louisa. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here once in a while. Ha ha ha. Yes, everybody loves Loki. This is Loki for those of y'all just joining us. Look at those beautiful paw pads. He's got gorgeous pink paw pads. Now, these guys, like I said, are active hunters. They're amazing, amazing hunters. Think about the Wolverine. You guys know much about the Wolverine? I know some people out there know about the Wolverine, you zookeepers out there. But they are kind of like that. Very tenacious, very, very voracious, very amazing predators. See, even the tongue, even the way he's just using his tongue, he's like, he just wants to eat it right up. He always thinks he's starving to death. He's not. So here, once in a while, these guys are raised on raw meat. That is the best diet for a ferret, in my opinion. We'll talk a little bit about his care. But if they are not actually brought up on raw meat, they may not take raw meat as a meal. Most people do feed their ferrets a nice high protein cat kibble, which is okay too. There's a few that I do recommend over others. You want to have the higher protein, the better, because they are what we call obligate carnivores, which means they should be eating meat and only meat. Very, very little carb, very, very, very little vegetable, if none of those none of those things. So they should really only be eating meat. But if your ferret wasn't raised like that, they may not take it. They may not understand that that's food. And believe it or not, and it may take some gradual kind of adjusting for them to get used to that raw meat. But these guys were raised on raw meat from being very, very tiny kits. Kits are what we call baby ferrets. Almost like kitten, but just kit, K-I-T. And these guys, like I said, were raised on that kind of meat, so it was very easy for me to just continue feeding them raw meat. Becky is asking, are ferrets related to skunks? So this is a very, very good question. So skunks, if you know me at all, are actually one of my favorite kind of animals in the world. Skunks are amazing. If you think about it, a skunk has like the perfect defense. Nothing really messes with them except for birds of prey. And that's because birds of prey can't smell. So birds of prey and other birds all over the world, there's a few birds that can smell, but most birds of prey can't. Or most birds in general can't. And birds of prey like owls and hawks can eat the skunk because they can't smell the skunk. But otherwise, I mean, nobody really messes with them, right? Pardon me as I scoot over here. Maybe he likes that. But yeah, so the skunk is not related to ferrets as much as we used to think they were. Now, that's a really complicated answer, and maybe I can go into more detail later on their scientific classification. But years ago, skunks were actually classified with weasels and ferrets and all the mustelids, which are those stinky family members of the ferrets, like weasels and things. Very, very stinky animals. But they are not related to the skunk anymore. They're not classified with the skunk anymore, I should say. Now they're their own category of animals. The skunk is pretty cool. But skunks are amazing. I wish I could show you one, maybe someday. Alrighty, guys. Another question. Cedric is asking, do ferrets have retractable claws? So no, they don't. Their claws are out all the time, kind of like a dog. But all members of, he's so cute. All members of the mustelid family do not have retractable claws at all, not like a cat. So these guys have their claws out all the time. Very good question. And they're out all the time right here on my hand right now. Good question. Any other questions? Loki does love his food. Yes, he does. Indeed, Lauren. Yes, he does. And they are precious. I agree. I think ferrets are one of my favorite animals too. Now, remember, I'm kind of a reptile girl, but I do love some of the other mammals and things too, just as much. He's so wiggly today. As you can see, ferrets are very active. So when they And look at that nose. When they are in human care, they do require a lot of time out of their enclosure. So these guys also require companionship. The domestic ferret is far more social than the European polecat, which is the animal they come from. That's a little bit weird, but many other weasels in the family Mustelidae, the mustelid family, those guys are also very social. So somewhere along the line in domestication, these guys became very, very social too. So it's highly recommended that you keep, oh my gosh, it's highly recommended that you keep a couple of them together at least, if not like a little group of them. So they do have each other all the time, which is great. Here once in a while, they have a companion all the time. And they do everything together except for when one of them's on program and the other one's resting. They take turns sometimes. Sometimes I bring both of them on program. Just depends on the situation. But they have each other to keep each other company and play together. And because there's nothing like having another one of your own species if you're a social animal to hang out with. But these guys require a lot of time also outside their enclosure to play, to get some enrichment. Enrichment is anything that can change up their day, give them something fun to do. Maybe it's a new food item like chicken baby food. Sometimes I'll put it on toys for them to lick off and play with. That's one example of enrichment. These guys like all kinds of different toys. So they need a lot of stuff to keep them happy and healthy. In the care of humans, these guys can live into maybe 10, 12 years old. That would be very old for a ferret, but it can happen. But typically it's 7 to 10. It is quite a long commitment for these guys. They're not like a hamster where they live a couple of years. And even a hamster, honestly, a couple of years of your life is, that's very important to think about. It's not just like a toy, right? They are living animals too, and they deserve all the best care can give them. But these guys do require a lot of activity, things to keep their mind going. They're very smart. Things to keep their mind and bodies occupied. Lots and lots of play, lots of, like I said, fun food, each other, hanging out with me. They're kind of a high maintenance animal. They're not a low maintenance small mammal to take home and then just throw in a cage and forget about them. You don't want to do that for sure. And any animal, of course, even a dog or a cat, if you don't have the time that it takes to train them or walk them if they're dogs, etc., maybe you have like time to let them out in the yard and play, and you just keep them in the house all the time or in a kennel all the time, that's not really good for them either. So depending on, it doesn't really matter on the animal. If you're making a commitment to take an animal home, I do recommend, of course, doing your research, because remember, ferrets are domestic, but that doesn't mean that they're easy. And proper diet, proper housing, proper enrichment, whether or not they should be alone or, together, like I said, all of that stuff. Claire says, endless supply of baby food. Woo! Yes, we do order like a case of it. Of course, we don't open it all at once, but that is honestly the best thing to kind of feed them on programs because it keeps them really busy licking hands, and they really like it, as you can see. So right now I have it in my pouch. I have a pouch on my hip, which has a bunch of baby food, and he keeps dipping out of the camera, out of the view of the camera. That's where he's going, like towards the pouch, because he's not dumb. He knows where it comes from. Jorge says he loves the musky smell. I actually kind of do too. Now that skunky smell from a distance, I really like that too. I'm one of those weird people, but I'm also an animal person, so that probably makes a difference. But ferrets also have a musty smell too. See if you can see his little paws. Aww. They have a musty smell that kind of just smells all the time. Some ferrets that come from different sources, hello, are gonna be descented. But just because they're descented doesn't mean they don't smell anymore. And their feces will smell, of course. These guys do go to the restroom quite a bit, especially if you're raising them on kibble. They will go to the restroom several times a day, which is going to, of course, stink. Most of them can use a litter box pretty easily. Some of them don't take to the litter box very well, so you'll have some accidents. But they do have a musty smell just on their body. I don't really mind it myself. It can be a little more intense at other times of the year. Sometimes in the springtime, it's super, super intense. I think it's just like hormones and things like that. But they do smell skunky. It's not the same as a skunk, but I don't really mind their smell. Of course, any animals, when they use the restroom, that's what's going to really smell bad. Ha ha ha. Yes, they do kind of smell like corn chips. Kind of like some cats, too. I see that, Claire. All right, guys. I have another question from Lauren. Are they nocturnal? So they're not really nocturnal. They're more crepuscular, which means they're kind of up and down during the day. So they're more active at dawn and dusk, I believe, in the wild. Correct me if I'm wrong, you ferret people out there. But that's what I have researched and been told. So not really nocturnal, more crepuscular, which means more active at dawn and dusk traditionally. Now, domestic ferrets are a little bit different though, because of course they're adjusting to our schedules. So if he's taking a long nap, but he hears me wake him up or it's food time, he's gonna wake up. He's like, hey, I don't care if I'm crepuscular, I'm waking up now so I can get some food, right? Because as you can see, they're very food motivated. These guys are extremely trainable too. So the first step in animal training is developing a good relationship with your animal, as I've talked about before with some of our other critters. But the second step is finding something that they really, really like. So that's called a reinforcer. And the reinforcer is going to be, in this case, the chicken baby food. But it can be things like attention, toys, pets. If they really like pets, for ferrets, it's more food. Maybe some attention too. They are pretty personable and like attention. Some ferrets really like attention and pets and things. But most ferrets are very food driven, food motivated. Maybe you can see them a little better that way. And so that's going to really help with training once you find something your animal really, really likes. And positive reinforcement training is what we use with him. And basically, we're giving him something that he likes for doing something that we like. We're not forcing him to come out here on program. We're just giving him lots and lots of treats for hanging out with me. Once he's done, if he decides that he just wants to be put down, I'll go ahead and let him rest. Very, very cool. Claire says, I'm correct. They're crepuscular. I thought so. Cool. Thank you for telling me that. Hi, Suzette. How's it going? I want to go ahead and shout out to Cross Munson. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Cross. He's 11, and I can't believe it. Last time I saw him, he was just a little one. But happy birthday, Cross, and I hope that you're watching, and I hope you're well. And I hope you like ferrets and other cute creatures. That's what we're going to meet today. So it's good to see you, Suzette. Alrighty, guys. So do you have any other questions, comments, anything about the ferret? And remember, guys, if I don't get to your questions here live, I always go back and answer questions. So don't feel bad if I skip you. I do my best to answer questions manually as well. And once again, if you guys are just joining us, this is Loki the ferret. We do have two ferrets here once in a while, Loki and Thor. Loki is very dark in the traditional color of the European polecat, which is the species that these guys come from. So the European polecat is kind of like the wolf to the dog. So as you may know, the domestic dog species thousands of years ago was domesticated from the gray wolf in Europe. I believe in Europe. And this guy is also a European-derived species. I like how he comes, hello. He is derived from a European species as well, the European polecat, back in the old days, of a couple thousand years ago. Oh, my goodness. And he's just loving this food. But yeah, so that's like the wild relative that these guys were domesticated from, is the European polecat, if that makes any sense. I'm rambling on and on. Oh, Suzette, I'm not at Dallas Zoo anymore. So I'm actually working for myself now. This is Once in a Wild, our own company, in case you misunderstood that. That's okay. We're in San Antonio now. But we would love to go to the zoo here with you guys if you guys want to just take a zoo trip, Suzette. But you're more than welcome to come and see our animals here in San Antonio if you'd like to once all of this is over. That would be a lot of fun. But I was working at Dallas Zoo not too long ago, for sure. But this is our own business now. So we travel with our animals usually, and we go to programs like birthday parties, classroom educational programs. We do animal therapy with some of our animals. We'll talk about that today. Heck yes, I agree. Ooh, Ricardo is on here, and he's asking if they like shiny things. Sometimes. So ferrets are really, really fun to give enrichment to. Remember, fun things to do? Because they tend to kind of like everything. It's like always a really, really exciting party every time you give them something. They're like, this is the best day ever! And they love whatever you give them, which is really fun. Same thing with otters and other mustelids that I've worked with in the past. I've worked with otters. I've worked with other similar animals, weasels, things like that. Those guys really enjoy. Whoa! What was that over there? See how active and alert he is too? That's such a cool feature of ferrets too. They're so kind of like all the time. Get distracted because he's so cute. But yeah, all those guys really like enrichment. So shiny things, sure, they might like shiny things. They might like plastic toys. They might like Kong toys. They might like cardboard boxes, tunnel systems. These guys naturally in the wild, they will live in kind of a tunnel system, which is a really cool thing about ferrets. So if you look at his long body, look at his long body like that. Oh goodness. He's so big, he doesn't even fit in frame. He's got a long body. He's very short to the ground. He's got short legs, which is a feature of all ferrets. Ugh, I'm trying to hold him up. He's got short legs, as you can probably see. Sorry about that. And he's very, very bendy. So these guys are very long-bodied, short legs, kind of short necks. Okay, I'll give you a treat for that. He's like, I know where the prize is. I'm going to eat the food. But they're super flexible, low to the ground, very, very well designed for living in tunnel systems. Now, typically what they're going to do to find a tunnel system is they're going to go hunting for rabbits or prairie dogs or rodents of some kind that already have like a tunnel that they live in. And they'll come in, they'll hunt all those animals, eat them, and then take over their home. Sounds cruel, but it's the way of nature. So these guys are very, very long body. Like I said, they're also very flexible. This doesn't hurt him at all. So they can do like a sit-up. They can do a full sit-up like that. It looks silly, but that's very true. They can also bend their spine like this. Can you see how bendy he is? And that's due to his very long, slender spine. That's very strong as well. Helps him to not get injured when all that's happening. And it's also due to the vertebrae. So his vertebrae is very long. The individual vertebrae, if you look at the skeleton of a ferret, they have very, very long vertebrae. And that allows them for lots and lots of flexibility. That comes in really handy when you are in a tunnel and you've reached the end of the tunnel and you need to turn around. So say he's in the tunnel like this. He's reached the end of the tunnel. All he has to do is turn back around like that. Turn back around like that. Maybe I'll show you from the other way. Hang on. So he's in the tunnel. He's reached the end. The end is the camera. He's like, oh no, I just have to turn around like that. And he can squeeze his entire body and turn back around like that. Does that make sense? But he needs to be very, very flexible. All right, Loki, you've been so good. These guys are so wiggly and so cute. Maybe I'll send or show a video soon of them playing together. They're really fun when they play together. Very playful. Alrighty, guys. Any other? Oh, they tend to hide stuff. Yeah, Jorge, they tend to hide stuff. Says he had a couple of them. It's getting heavy. He had a couple of them and they tend to hide stuff. Yes, they like to stash things. That's another instinct of theirs. So out there in the wild, when they find maybe a rabbit to eat or a big prey item like that, because sometimes rabbits are big, right? They'll take the rabbit and then they'll store the rest of the rabbit that they can't finish for later in their tunnel system. And that's kind of their natural instinct in the care of humans as well, is to stash things that they really like for later. So that's a very good natural behavior you're seeing. Ha ha ha. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to go ahead and move to our next animal since we're running a tad bit behind because of our technical difficulties in the beginning. And Loki's been really, really cute and very wiggly today. We're going to let him go rest behind the scenes in just a moment. But he's been awesome today. Can you see their semi-webbed paws? So they're a relative of the otter. Otters have webbed paws because they swim a lot. Ferrets don't really swim a lot, but they can swim some if they have to, like swim across the river or something like that to get from one side to the other. They can definitely swim. They're decent swimmers, not great swimmers. They don't really have a waterproof coat or anything like that like an otter has, but they do have semi-webbed little paws. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let him hang out in his carrier for a little bit. And we'll move on to our next animal. He did a great job. And I am, of course, going to wash all the baby food off of my fingers because that was a lot of mess. So bear with me. Anybody have any other questions? I'm going to see if anybody else had questions now that my hand's clean. Oh my goodness. So much food everywhere. Let's see. I think I got to everybody's questions. I just wasn't able to use my keyboard and pop them on the screen. I apologize. They do look funny when they're wet. We're talking about how they're not that great of a swimmer. They don't have a waterproof coat like an otter has. So they are just going to be wet and kind of stay soaking wet. So they do look kind of funny like a wet dog or something. All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and move on to our second animal. Now that my hands are clean. We have a very different animal, and this animal is not a predator. We consider him to be a prey animal. But don't worry, I won't let him hang out with the ferret at all. They are definitely separated. So our second animal is actually an animal we can use for animal therapy from time to time. And for this animal, I'm going to go ahead and set up a little bit of a different setup here down below. So maybe we can see him as well. That might be fun. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a new thing, which is our split screen. Look at that. I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see me better. And can y'all see this? It's a bit of a lag on my part. Can you see this? Okay, so we're gonna meet our next animal. This here is one of our beautiful guinea pigs, and his name is Iggy. Can you see him there? Let me know if you can or can't. This is new to us, using 2 cameras. So this is Iggy, and I've got some treats for Iggy too. Here you go. He is so cute. So Iggy here is a guinea pig. And he is a special breed of guinea pig, right here. He's a special breed of guinea pig called a Peruvian guinea pig. I'm gonna see if he likes maybe these treats better. Remember, this is all new to our animals. Coming in the studio and having this kind of encounter. Oh yes, that's much better. Having this kind of encounter is new to our animals. So if they kind of pause to look around or they're overstimulated, that's going to be why. But this is Iggy the guinea pig. He is absolutely adorable. And he is a very special member of our animal therapy team. Let's see if I can move him into frame. There we go. And please let me know if you guys can see him clearly or if it's blurry. We're still working on all the options for this kind of encounter. And guinea pigs are also a type of pet that you may have seen before, right? But they are also coming from a wild animal. What kind of animal the guinea pig is coming from? They are from South America originally, and they are not pigs. So they are actually in the rodent family. So there are many, many types of rodents in the world, and rodents are classified by their teeth. So their teeth in the front, their incisor their teeth look like this. There's 2 top teeth that look like this, and there's 2 bottom teeth that also look like this. And their teeth, their incisors in the front, kind of like these are my incisors right here. So those 2 teeth on a guinea pig or any rodent, they're gonna look like this. And then on the bottom right here, they're gonna look like that. So as he's eating his food and just, you know, basically eating grass or whatever they eat in the wild, they're going to basically wear their teeth down. So their teeth never stop growing. If they didn't have proper diet or anything like that, their teeth would actually keep on growing if they didn't have anything to chew on. So it's important when you have a pet guinea pig to give them enrichment to chew on. We talked about enrichment with a ferret. Guinea pigs too also need enrichment. But if they have the proper diet, that should be almost enough to keep their teeth healthy. Now, what's the proper diet for a guinea pig in the care of humans? So it's going to be 80% hay. So either Timothy hay or orchard hay, some kind of grass-based orchard hay is fine. I use Timothy hay myself because it's very accessible and very, very easy to find. So when I get my Timothy hay, I typically get it in bulk because I have 4 guinea pigs, 4 male guinea pigs. Iggy's just one of them. And I also have 3 more, and I have my rabbit as well. And then I also have some tortoises that also eat hay too, especially in the wintertime. Are you finished with your food? You can eat it. Yum, yum. Do you want some more treats? Maybe some banana peel. Do you like that? I don't know if you like banana peel. I haven't given it to you before. They can eat the peel of the banana. Pretty cool. These guys, like I said, 80% to 85% of their diet should be Timothy hay or orchard hay. I typically get it in bulk, like I said, because I have several animals to feed. But you can find Timothy hay at your pet store most of the time. It's not really a big deal. Very, very accessible, which is why I use it too. And that's going to keep their teeth filed properly. Oh, thank you. He is so beautiful. Yes, he is so beautiful. Thank you. Or is that about me? Oh my goodness. Thank you. If it is. So the rest of their diet, so if 80% is the hay and whatnot, so what is the rest of it? So the other percent can be, and this can kind of fluctuate a little bit. You need to do a guinea pig pellet. Now, the reason that it's really, really important to feed them a guinea pig pellet and not just any kind of pellet is because these guys need to have vitamin C in their diet. And that is very important for guinea pigs. And you can't just give them like oranges. It has to be either vitamin C, like liquid vitamins, or you can crush up some vitamin C tablets and give it to them over their food if you want to. But the easiest way to give guinea pigs their vitamin C is by giving them a very high quality guinea pig pellet. So the guinea pig pellet is usually going to already have the vitamin C. You can also give them extra vitamin C if you want to. It won't hurt them. As you may know, if you guys know about any vitamin C with with us as well. It won't hurt you to get extra. You basically just urinate the extra vitamin C out, so it won't overdose them or anything like that. But that's the easiest and most kind of best way, I think. Do you want this pepper? You're unsure about the pepper? About their vitamin C. That's the best way to get it to them, or the easiest way, I should say. So they need the hay, 80%. Another part of their diet is going to be pellets, but don't overdo the pellets if you are wanting a non-fat guinea pig. They're a little bit high in nutrients and can make your guinea pig fat. So just a little bit of pellets, about a quarter cup. Yes, a fourth of a cup per guinea pig. I have 4, so do the math. So they get 4 times that, obviously. And but that's going to be not very much of their diet at all. It's mostly to get them their vitamin C, in my opinion. Pellets are also not a hay replacer. They don't wear their teeth down nearly enough when it comes to that. Another part of their percentage of their diet are greens. So greens like dandelion greens, collard greens, and you can give them cilantro, you can give them romaine lettuce, but dandelion greens and collard greens and other dark leafy greens like that are going to be really, really good nutrition for that portion of their diet. Somebody lost connection here, but I'm still going. I don't think anybody else lost connection. So we have questions about the guinea pig here. Let me see. Is the hair soft and does it shed? So by the way, this is Iggy, if you guys didn't hear that. This is Iggy the piggy. And he is a very special breed of guinea pig. I believe there are 10 to 12 breeds of guinea pig. I could be wrong about that number, but that's what I was told. And he's a Peruvian guinea pig. See how he likes getting pets. So he's, by the way, a therapy pig for our animal therapy programs and petting programs. He's very, very good at that. So the hair is very soft on this breed. And most breeds of guinea pig are very soft as well. There's a couple that have kind of a rougher coat, but they're also a different kind of breed. Most guinea pigs that you see in the care of humans are American guinea pigs, which are the short-coated domestic guinea pig. And then you have long-haired breeds like the Peruvian here. You've also got silky guinea pigs. And then there's some with a medium length coat. We have 2 of them. They're called Abyssinian guinea pigs. And those are the ones that kind of look like they have like the wild mohawk and like the little cowlicks all over their body. Those are Abyssinian guinea pigs. They breed them in all different kinds of coat lengths. And the Peruvians, like Iggy here, can come in any color. Now, when a guinea pig is white and another color like him, so he's kind of a reddish blonde and also white. That's known as a broken colored guinea pig. And if you have a solid colored guinea pig, like we have an American guinea pig, his name is Dexter, and he's solid black. He's beautiful. I'm going to show him to you at some point on our programs too. He's so cute. He looks like a little puppy dog. He's got cute little ears, but he's got a short coat, solid black. The solid colors are called self in the guinea pig world. Now, guinea pigs are also known as cavies. That is usually what you're going to hear like in guinea pig breeders and things like that. They call them cavies. And that's going to give you an example, or sorry, a clue as to what species the guinea pig comes from in the first place. So yes, they do eat them in Peru. This is very, very common. And it's, don't let Iggy hear. Don't listen. But that's why guinea pigs came into being a captive animal, a domestic animal. Both. That's how they came to be a domestic animal in the first place. So long time ago, when guinea pigs were domesticated, way before my time, they were domesticated in South America. So they're a South American native species as a wild animal. Remember, we talked about the ferret having the European polecat as their kind of wild origin species. Got it. These guys have a wild origin species too, and it's known as the cavy. I believe that's all they're known as. There's also a cooey. Cooey is another way you can talk about a guinea pig. Guinea pigs that are raised for meat purposes. But that's how they came into being a domestic species in the first place. And then eventually became kind of a domestic pet as well. Because they're a little bit, actually, oh my gosh, guys. He's going to groom himself. Hopefully he'll do it again. So they're actually very clean animals. Similar to other rodents, they don't really like to be dirty. So after they eat, they tend to groom themselves like that. Isn't he so cute? I love him. He's actually my favorite guinea pig. Don't tell the other guinea pigs. He's so cute. I love his long hair. He's the only long-haired guinea pig we have. So we have some medium-length guinea pigs, hair guinea pigs, and we have a short-haired guinea pig too. Don't you guys want to pet him? Hopefully when we are back in action, you guys can book your animal encounter and meet Iggy in person because he's so cute. I think we're out of frame a little bit. There we go. Here, let's just put him in. Frame here. This is kind of fun with the split screen. Let me know how things are going. Oh, I see what's happening. Yes. Okay, no problem. Sorry about that, you guys. You couldn't hear me before, could you? So once again, I'm talking about the guinea pig. If y'all missed the spiel I was going through, we're going through some changes out here. We're actually doing some new cameras and new sound system. You know, it is what it is. So yes, he's so cute. So I'll just stay here so you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. This has been something else. Okay, can y'all hear me now? So yes, he is so handsome. I agree. I so agree. Oh, here's a great question, Jorge. How many babies do they have each litter? So these guys are kind of unusual when it comes to being a rodent. You have to turn around. Turn around. These guys are a little bit unusual when it comes to being a rodent. Their babies are not altricial. They are, they're way more developed than most rodents are when they have their babies, or when they are babies, I should say. So these guys, when they are very, very young, they can start having babies. And once those babies are born, they're born with all of their hair, they're born with their hearing, and they're born with eyesight, which is very unusual when it comes to being a rodent. So they can have anywhere from 1 to 2, all the way up to, I've heard, like 8 babies, but that's super rare. I'm going to take this off for a little bit so you guys can see me better. And yeah, so they're a little bit unusual when it comes to being a rodent. Rodents in general are typically born hairless, no vision, no sense of sound, or hearing, I should say, and very, very reliant on mom. Now, when cavies and guinea pigs are born, they're still having to nurse. They still need mother's care, but they're born with full hair. They have eyesight and they can hear. So they're grown up really, really fast, and they don't have nearly as many babies because those babies are a lot bigger because they're more developed. So anywhere from around 2 to 6 or 8, that would be a very large litter for them. Typically 2 to 4 is their normal size litter. Sometimes 2 or 3, typical. Okay, guys. Sorry about the sound once again. Let me know if you can hear me now. There's a lot of things we have to practice, apparently. But Iggy, once again, is one of our animal therapy animals. So we do all kinds of programs with Once in a Wild. We do, of course, these virtual programs. And by the way, we are offering a new virtual program, which is a Zoom room. So now offering virtual encounters via Zoom room. That's going to be scrolling by. You guys can call me for information. So what that is going to look like basically is you get to customize what animals you want to see. And that's going to be a private encounter, of course, not like a live stream encounter. And that's going to be customizable. It's going to be private. You guys can interact with me as well. It's going to be similar to this if you want it to be, or I can actually give you a tour of some of our other animals' enclosures and things like that. That might be fun. So whatever you guys really want to see, and the pricing varies depending on what you guys want to do. So that's one encounter that we can do. But typically we do bring the animals to the public, right? In person. Can't do that right now. So we're doing something instead, which is oh my goodness, which is all of this. But what Iggy normally does in programs is he is a therapy animal, and kids can hold them in their laps and pet him. You have to turn around. Yes. They can pet him just like this. They might brush him. They can just spend some time with him. And that can be for any age, by the way. Let's go this way. Yes, that's much better. And that can be for all ages. Everybody likes petting animals, right? And loving on animals. But that is very therapeutic for us humans, being able to love on some animals, right? We can take him to nursing homes. We can take him to hospitals on a normal basis. Can you guys hear his noises? So guinea pig, my favorite thing about guinea pigs, I almost forgot to mention, and this also goes for their wild counterpart, the cavy in South America, which, by the way, the cavy looks nothing like this, other than their body shape. They have ears that are more upright like this. They have that cute little mouth. But they don't have long hair in the wild. They have more erect, upright ears like this. They have short hair, and they're more of like a brownish black agouti color, if you know what agouti means. Agouti is kind of like a black ticked brown, very natural coloration, which makes sense, right? If he were a wild animal, he wouldn't really be able to blend in looking like this. He would stand right out. This is very much a domestic trait. So these colorations, these patterns. So out there in nature, these guys look a lot more like a wild animal version of them. But all guinea pigs and cavies make really cute noises. So cute. So we scratch his little chin and scratch his cheeks. He might make some purring noises. These guys purr. They week, which sounds like a week, 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 almost like a pig, right? They're not pigs, they're rodents. And they can grumble. They can make all kinds of noises to communicate. These guinea pigs are very, very social. And a male guinea pig like Iggy is known as a boar, just like a male pig is a boar. And a female guinea pig is known as a sow, just like a female pig is known as a sow. He's backing right up. Don't jump. Oh, you have more food. Look, that you didn't finish. Look at that. Yum. But they are very social, so they communicate a lot with noises, body language. Like I said, a male is a boar, a female is a sow, and a group of guinea pigs is a herd. And they will normally in the wild live with one male and several females. They have kind of a harem situation where he has several girlfriends. I won't judge, that's the way they are. And that male will look after his ladies and protect them. And he will defend his ladies from other rival males that come into the group. And that's how they normally live. So here, once in a while, we don't really want to be breeding any guinea pigs or anything like that. We're not a breeder. So we have all boys. The boys live together just fine together as well. So if you are interested in guinea pigs in the future, if you want like a companion guinea pig, we do highly recommend that you get a group of them. You can either get a group of boys or a group of girls. One really good dynamic is a neutered male and several females, but at least two together. Pretty please. We do recommend that. They are very, very social. They don't do well being alone. Even if you spend a lot of time with them, it's not really enough. It's not going to be enough to fulfill that need to be a social animal in a group. And one reason why they're social is because these guys are prey animals. We talked about them being prey. So in South America, where the Peruvian, not the Peruvian, I mean, they might live in Peru for sure, where the guinea pig is from, that cavy is from, they are a prey animal, and they have lots of predators. Let's see if you guys can think of any South American predators that might eat a guinea pig in the wild, a cavy. There's a lot of them. So they do have a lot to kind of look out for danger-wise, and therefore, they have to live in a group. So living in a group makes them feel safe. So if you live in a group of 10 guinea pigs and you're one of those 10, you have 9 family members that you live with, you have a lot more likelihood of surviving, because if you live alone, you're the only animal that that predator is going to square in on and probably eat. It's just one target versus 10 targets, right? So you have more likelihood of surviving that predatory attack, right? Does that make sense? So living in numbers is a lot safer for them. So even in the care of humans where they're not in danger of predators, their instinct is going to take over and they're not going to feel comfortable alone. So that's one reason why they need to be in a group. Any other questions about him? If I'm not getting your questions, it might just be on a lag. Iggy is so cute. Like I said, they make all kinds of little noises to communicate with one another. And it's really, really adorable to see them interact, and it's a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite things about guinea pigs is their noises, how they interact with each other. They're kind of little busybodies. They move around a lot. They're also a crepuscular species, so they're going to be up in the night sometimes, and a lot of times I hear them and see them up late, but they adjust to your schedule too. He's going to come around and see me. Oh, how sweet. Oh, sweet. Let's go back to this camera. Wrong way. Let's go back to this camera. He's so sweet. If he wants to be just picked up, I don't mind. Oh my goodness. He's making little noises right now. I'll see if you guys can hear him. Hear that little weaking sound? It's a weak that he's doing. So they are crepuscular, like I said. Where was I? They're kind of crepuscular too, which means they're awake during more during the morning and the evening. But they will kind of adjust to your schedule if you have one at home. All right. Well, he has been wonderful. He's so cute. I don't think we could top this, but we're going to try. So if you guys think he's cute, we're going to move on to our next animal here in a minute that I think you will think is just as cute. Now, once again, these are prey animals. They are herbivores, so they don't eat any kind of meat at all. They are in the rodent family, but they're not a rodent that is an omnivore. Some rodents are omnivores. Remember, omnivores can eat both meat and plants. These guys are herbivores, which means they eat a lot of different greens and vegetables as well. And remember, we talked about their diet. Their diet in the wild is going to be mostly grass. So in the care of humans, oops, sorry about that. In the care of humans, we supplement that with eating a lot of hay. Oh my goodness. So 80% hay, remember? The rest is going to be greens and pellets. Sorry, yeah, greens and pellets. That's what I meant to say. There we go. Any questions about him? I think he was just adorable. Now, rodents include lots and lots of animals, right? My favorite rodent species is the porcupine, and there are different species of porcupine. I should have said my favorite kind of rodent is the porcupine. My favorite species is the prehensile-tailed porcupine. And all rodents have those insides or teeth that never stop growing. They look 2 on the front, 2 on the top, 2 on the front, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Guys, I'm losing my mind. And they wear down over time. They never stop growing, and they have to eat the right diet and have enrichment items like wood items and other things to chew on to keep their teeth worn down properly. Otherwise, they won't be healthy and they won't be able to eat properly. You're having a crazy hair day, aren't you, buddy? Kind of like me sometimes. I think I answered all y'all's questions about the guinea pig. He's turning around again. I can fix that. Woo. Ta-da. Okay, I guess we'll move on to our next animal. Now, again, we have 4 guinea pigs. Maybe I'll bring some other guinea pigs on next time. And our 4 guinea pigs' names are Iggy, Dexter, Noodles, and Billy Joe. Oh, that little shake off was super cute. Got to get that hair out of his face so you can see. Now, this type of guinea pig, like I said, the Peruvian guinea pig is probably my favorite breed. They have this long, luxurious hair. You do have to keep it nice and brushed. Every now and then you might want to cut it to give him a little trim. We're letting his hairstyle grow out because I like it long. It's beautiful. Beautiful long hair. But they do need to be brushed as well, and oftentimes they need a bath. Because a lot of times these guinea pigs, because they're down low to the ground, they have short little legs. See the legs? See his legs? So they have short little stubby legs. They're kind of like a little walking potato. And if they have long hair, they tend to kind of walk in dirty things. So you got to give them a bath every now and then, at least 3 times a month, something like that. Brush them out. Oh my goodness. I think I lost my other camera. We're going to take a look. I did, and we're going to try it again. See if we can get it back in there. Again, guys, we're learning. Oh, yes, we're going to be back in. Boop. Bam. I'm becoming a pro at this already. You guys have been so patient today. I'm sorry about it. Boop. There we are. We're back. And he's turned around again. Can you guys hear me again and see me again? Haha. Alrighty, guys. Awesome. Wrong way. Also, this isn't a mirror image, so it's taking me some time to get used to how things look and where things go. Okay, some other questions. Iggy is like having a 4-legged dust mop. Maybe I should put him to work to start cleaning. That would be very helpful around here. Mary has a question. Do you take your guinea pigs to the vet? And that's from Luke, actually. Hi, Luke, and thank you for tuning in, everyone, including everybody's kiddos. I know I don't necessarily always see everybody's kids' names because Facebook, you know, it's the adults' names that are usually on there. But hi, Luke. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate that. And so, yes, so if he, of course, needs anything, we can take him to the vet. You have to also find a vet that can see guinea pigs, of course, and that knows what they're doing with guinea pigs. And that's one thing to also take into consideration. If you ever invite a guinea pig or any other type of exotic domestic animal in your life, right? Even though they're domestic doesn't mean they're not exotic as a pet. They're still considered to be an exotic. So you have to find an exotic vet. And yes, so he goes to the vet for a wellness exam periodically. And he also would go to the vet if he had something wrong. But these guys don't necessarily need like shots or anything like that. But there's several things that they might need on occasion. But he's doing really well. Iggy here, I forgot to tell you his age. He's actually about 1.5 years old, so he's not old. And these guys can, they don't have the longest life expectancy. But usually 8 to 12 is going to be their like super old, you know, age expectancy. They used to say 5 to 7 back when I was learning about animals when I was a little kid, but now it's around 8 to 12. So you can definitely expect them to be around. I know a few guinea pigs that live to be a long old life. So 10-ish. So yeah, if he starts getting geriatric or needing any kind of health checks or any kind of extra health, you know, any medical care, we would take him to the vet. And I have an excellent zoo vet that I really, really like. Is Iggy like a hot water bottle? I guess in the sense that he is therapeutic to humans, if that's what you mean. They're not really a very warm-bodied animal. They do prefer a warmer climate since they are naturally a South American species. So when you have a guinea pig in your life, if you ever do, you want to make sure that they are nice and warm. It doesn't have to be super hot or anything, buddy. It doesn't have to be super hot or anything, but room temperature is fine. You don't want them to below like 65. They get a little bit uncomfortable. They like it on the warm side. So if you have to bring in a space heater or something like that into the room during the winter to help them stay warm in that room, you wouldn't put the space heater like in their enclosure or anything, but you want to make sure your house is on the warm side or at least comfortable, right? Yeah. And you are welcome, Mary. So here's a good question. In the wild, do they live underground? So that kind of wild version of the guinea pig, the KV in South America, they do occasionally go underground, but they're actually going to be kind of a grazing animal. So they're out on the surface of the land. They don't really have like a tunnel system or anything to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, they're for danger, they'll actually just go underneath some bushes and some plants. They live in South America, so there's plenty, you know, in the wild, there's lots and lots of greenery and things. So if they're hanging out grazing on grass and whatnot, And all of a sudden, one of them in the herd hears a predator or sees a predator. Maybe it's a hawk flying overhead like that. And then look at your audience, sweetheart. They want to see your face. Yes. You hear that purring sound? He's saying, yes, I really want some attention and scratches. So cute. They're purring to say, yes, I like that. Check that out. So once they see a predator or hear a predator or smell a predator, they will start making a wee sound and kind of start running and scattering. And then they will hide underneath plants and things. Could y'all hear me just now at all? Oh my goodness, I forgot. No, you could. I was still on split screen. We're good. So they will kind of scatter when they see a predator or they sense a predator around. They help each other out by vocalizing and saying, hey, there's a predator, we all need to run, let's go. Ah! And they start scattering and going to bushes and things, and hopefully they'll get away from the predator, right? Now, if they don't get away from the predator, that's normal, right? These guys are definitely a food animal for lots and lots of critters out there in nature. That is kind of their lot in life. They do reproduce quite often, even though they don't have as many babies as other rodents. But they are able to reproduce very early, as soon as they, I can't remember the age, but it's very young. And so as soon as they can, they start having babies. And that repopulates those other guinea pigs, those cavies. But that is kind of their purpose, if you will, in nature, not just to be a therapy animal and be in the care of humans and whatnot. As a species, these guys were domesticated for food. Sorry, buddy, it's true. I know, now you're going to turn away from everyone. But they were. And then they became companions because they are kind of docile. They don't really bite that much or anything like that. They're sweet. They have great personalities. So I think they just kind of transitioned into being a domestic species, like some other animal, like chickens, for example, started off as a food and egg provider for humans. And then they kind of transitioned into more of like a companion animal. Kind of cool. But they are definitely a food species. They're a prey animal for a lot of animals out there in nature. They're also not an endangered species, so don't feel too bad. These guys provide a lot of food for a lot of animals out there in nature. And they're doing just fine. The populations, as far as I know, are actually doing okay. Now, some of their potential threats might be habitat loss, just like a lot of animals suffer habitat loss in South America and any kind of rainforest type area. So that might be an issue. That's usually due to deforestation, like taking resources from the jungle, or humans moving into their territory. All right. Yes, absolutely. They're a small version of the capybara. The capybara is the largest species of rodent on the planet, also from South America. In fact, there are many species of cavy living in South America, which are related to the guinea pig, and they look really, really similar to him. If you think of a great big giant guinea pig, that's kind of what a capybara is. Capybara also swim in the river a lot there in fresh water. And capybara are a food source as well for large predators like caiman, anacondas, and jaguar. So all three of those predators might prey upon the cavy as well. But you've got all kinds of animals out there in South America that can actually eat the cavy because they are tiny. Good questions. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch to our next animal because we're we only have so much time for the program. Now remember, we are accepting tips via Venmo at Once in a Wild is how you can find us on Venmo. And you can find us at onceinawild.com for all of our social media links. And we are also asking that you check out our Amazon wish list if you want to help out as well and you just don't want to donate to Venmo. That's okay. We have another way that you can help us out, which is via Amazon wish list. And that you can find on our onceinawild.com, on our social media, all kinds of ways to find that link. If you go to onceinawild.com, scroll all the way down and you'll see where it says donate to our cause. That's actually to our Amazon wish list. There's all kinds of items for guinea pigs, including guinea pig pellets is actually one thing we kind of need right now. So if that doesn't come in soon, I'm going to have to order it on my own, and that's okay. But that's one thing we need. I do have those items selected for those animals. But there's all kinds of fun things, too. If you don't want to buy food or boring things, there's some fun toys for the animals on Amazon wishlist as well, and they really appreciate that, too. And we appreciate y'all's help. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next animal. I'll go ahead and hide this camera, and I'm back over here. And I think Iggy was absolutely so cute for the program. Look at him. They always have kind of that like face. Adorable. Okay, you did a great job, Iggy. He's just gonna hang out next to me right here on the ground in his little travel habitat. Okay. Gonna get rid of some things that we don't need anymore. And now, oh my goodness, this is a one-person show for sure. I need an assistant. Did you guys want to be my assistant? Oh wait, I can't have you over right now. Oh goodness gracious. Now don't forget, we're also offering Zoom Room animal encounters too, like I said. I'll show you that information here. While we're talking about the next animal, we'll talk about Zoom Room a little bit while I get her out. Okay, so you thought that last animal was cute. Let's see if you think that this next one is cuter or the same cute or whatever. And don't forget to tell me some other South American predators. Let's see if you guys chimed in about that. You guys are being so helpful with letting me know how things are going. I really appreciate all of our fans, followers, friends, and family. All those things. You guys are fantastic. Okay, so next we're going to move on to an African mammal. Remember, we are talking about mammals today. Mammals are animals with hair, warm-blooded, and give milk to their babies, right? So we're moving on from South America to Africa. And here she is. Oh my goodness. Cuter, just as cute, less cute than the guinea pig, you decide. This is Shirley, the African hedgehog. There are a couple of different kinds of hedgehog in the world. One is the African and one is the European. She is the African variety. And this type of hedgehog is pretty small. She is a full-grown animal. See how small she is? Can you imagine a tiny animal like this living in Africa? Believe it or not, a tiny little hedgehog like this would live in the same exact savanna habitat as an elephant in Africa. So an African elephant actually shares the same habitat as an African hedgehog. Amazing. Now, African hedgehogs are not rodents, and no hedgehogs are rodents. They're in the shrew family, more closely related to shrews than rodents for sure. And hedgehogs are kind of like their own subcategory of those shrew-like mammals. They have some different features genetically as well. You're okay, sweetheart. And they have very different teeth than a rodent. We talked about rodents' teeth, how they have those incisors that never stop growing. The hedgehog and other shrew-like mammals, like tenrecs or another family member of the hedgehog, those animals don't have those long incisors in the front. Their teeth are more uniform in nature. They're kind of like an opossum's teeth. Have you ever seen an opossum open its mouth? Opossums are marsupials and not in this category either. They're not the shrew-like mammal category, but they are similar in their dentation, in their teeth. So that is one way that they are similar. They look a lot more like that. If you've ever been to SeaWorld and seen a dolphin open their mouth really wide, they have very uniform teeth. Now, a dolphin has much more zipper-like uniform teeth than a hedgehog. Imagine a dolphin's teeth kind of mixed with maybe a dog's teeth, and that's what a hedgehog's teeth kind of look like. It's a really cool thing to look up, but definitely not a rodent's teeth. Okay, she's becoming a little more bold now that she knows that everything's okay. Now, once again, this is a prey animal potentially because they are small, but this is also a predator. So Loki was a predator, the ferret, very much so. This is also a type of predator, but they are an insectivore. What do insectivores eat? Insectivores. I wonder what they eat. You can probably figure it out. Her main food source in the wild would be things like termites. So out there in nature, when they live on that African savanna, by the way, they are nocturnal, which means they come out at night. These guys are strictly nocturnal. They're one of the more nocturnal species on the planet. As far as mammals go, they're super, super nocturnal. They do not like to come out in the day at all because, remember, they are tiny and there's lots of dangerous animals in Africa. Oh, my goodness. I just want to let you guys see her. Oh, she's so cute. So she'll come out at night if she's a wild hedgehog, right? And they're going to hang out around termite mounds. Termite mounds are great big giant structures which look kind of like a mountain to a hedgehog. The termites make their own home, their termite mound, out of their own saliva, as well as dirt. So they kind of use dirt and other natural materials like that. They chew it all up. If you guys know anything about termites, they chew wood, right, sometimes. But out there in Africa, they're going to chew up dirt, wood, a little bit, all other kinds like plants and things. And it's mostly dirt, though, sand. And and whatnot. And they're going to use their own saliva to make kind of a paste out of that dirt. And then they're going to make this giant, huge mountain to live in. And that mountain inside of it has a tunnel system, all kinds of caves, all kinds of things. Pretty elaborate, actually, for an insect. Remember, termites are colonial bugs, which means they live in great big giant groups, colonies, like ants. And those termites are huge. The termites are like this big. They might be like tiny, depending on, oh my God, look at that leg. Oh, she's so cute. I can't even. So the termites are going to be anywhere from like this big to huge ones, depending on the termite. Termites have a queen and a whole bunch of soldier termites and other termites that help her. But anyway, there's tons of them. So what the hedgehog does is they will kind of live in one of those caves or bigger tunnels that they find in the termite mound. And how convenient that their food also lives there too. So they're going to kind of do something similar to the ferret. Hedgehog yoga? Yes. I don't know if she'll do it again, but super cute. Let's see if she'll do it. Oh, there's one arm. Oh, she heard you guys. Yes. So yes, they will definitely eat the termites while they live with the termites. But you know what? There's so many termites that I don't even think the termites really notice. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a termite. I didn't ask one, but I assume there's so many of them that it's kind of like, well. And they're not overdoing it. These guys know how to reserve their resources. Did you hear that? You need to be a lady. Oh my. So animals, most of the time, unless they're an invasive species. So invasive species means that the species that shouldn't be there and they were brought there for another reason and they're not a naturally dwelling species. If they are not an invasive species, animals a lot of times they don't overdo it on resources. So she's not going to like eat all the termites in one night because she knows that she needs to have a meal for tomorrow. Also, a couple of termites is a lot of food for a hedgehog. Oh my goodness, what is wrong? But so what they're gonna do is live in there and eat all the termites they want. They could even climb up some of those sloping termite mound hills and eat a bunch of termites. And you guys know what a hedgehog does whenever they need to get down from a hill? They roll up into a ball, and just like Sonic the Hedgehog, they can roll downhill, but they roll into a ball mostly to stay safe. So imagine you're a tiny little shrew-like mammal. Oh my goodness, look at that face. And you are in Africa where there are more predators than any other continent on the earth. There's tons of predators that can eat you. Oh my God. There's tons of predators that can eat you, right? So you need a protection of some kind. You need a way to stay safe. Most animals have some way to stay safe. Instead of living in large numbers, the hedgehog is solitary. But since they're solitary, they need their spines. So what a hedgehog does when they get nervous, just like you're kind of seeing her do a little bit, she's throwing a tantrum. You see how you see her doing a little bit when I roll her up a little bit, kind of like swinging her or, rolling her back that way so she rolls into a ball. They'll do just like this. So they'll roll into a ball. They'll start kind of popping into the nose of the predator or the mouth. Imagine you're a predator eating this. I'm not to do it because that would hurt, but yeah, that's the whole point. She's got these spines, which are modified hairs. Remember, she's a mammal, so she's got hair on her belly, right? Hair on her belly, but also hair all over her back, which are little spines. Those spines are very, very sharp. She rolls right into a ball. Her skin is very stretchy. It comes all the way up over her head, just like a hooded sweatshirt. Draw the string of the sweatshirt and your whole face is covered. That's kind of similar to her skin, and that's going to protect her from any potential danger from above or an animal grabbing her. Imagine this was the teeth of the animal. Arrgh. And that would hurt the mouth of the animal. So hopefully they'll let go and she can come out and be okay, right? That's her main defense. You might have heard her noises just now. You hear the noises? So I'm kind of tickling her, encouraging that noise. I'm not going to tease her anymore. Oh my goodness. Sorry, girly. She's like, that's enough. But that is a noise that says, hey, don't eat me. I don't want to be eaten. Leave me alone, kind of thing. Yeah. Pretty cool. So that is a really good defense because they're already not a very large animal, so it wouldn't be a big meal for a big predator. And they're full of spines, so not really easy to eat, so they usually leave them alone. In fact, the hedgehog only has one predator that successfully eats them all the time, and it's another nocturnal predator, and that is the owl. There's a specific type of owl called a verbose eagle owl, otherwise known as a milky eagle owl, that can eat these guys. They have specialized talons to be able to still get up in there and eat a hedgehog, even if they're rolled up in a ball with all their spines. Any questions about our hedgehog? Are they related to porcupine? So no, a porcupine is a rodent. So the porcupine has those rodent teeth, and porcupines are related more closely to the guinea pig that we saw earlier. The hedgehog may have spines. Some people call them quills, but they're short quills, so they refer to them as spines. And those spines may look like a porcupine. In fact, there is another African porcupine too, African hedgehog, African porcupine, but they are not related. They just have a similar defense mechanism. Neither the porcupine nor the hedgehog can shoot their quills. They are just hair. They do shed from time to time and then regrow just like your hair does. But just as we cannot shoot our hair out of our head when we are upset or angry, they cannot shoot their spines out of their head either, or their back. So that is a myth. Porcupines also cannot shoot their quills. Where that myth came from with the porcupine, we're going to go ahead and let her rest. I think she's had enough, and that is okay. Good girl. Now, the porcupine sometimes does have barbs on the end of their quills. So the North American and South American porcupines in the New World, we talk about the Americas, right? Old World would be the rest of the world. So in the Americas, the porcupine has barbs on the end of their quills. So not the African porcupine, but the other kind of porcupine. And sometimes when a porcupine is able to use their quills for defense, they're going to stick into the animal, and then the animal can't get them out of their body. So a porcupine can also run backwards and kind of scoot into their predators, or side swipe, or do all kinds of things. And that might appear that they shot the animal with their quills, but it's not really true. It's just that they're stuck in the animal. The African porcupine can also stick its quills into the animal. They can't shoot their quills, but the quills are just really big on an African porcupine. Like everything else is larger on the African porcupine. They're just a big animal. So they do have quite large quills. They don't need any barbs on the quills. Yeah, I mean, Cedric has a good point. I wish I knew how to save food for later. We've all eaten all of our snacks already. We're hungry. But that is a good point as far as humans and other kind of invasive animals. They tend to overdo it when it comes to resources, especially us humans. We take too many resources and don't leave anything for other animals and even other people sometimes. So most animals know how to conserve their food and their resources, so they have some for later. Okay, guys. Are they related to armadillo? So no, armadillos actually have no teeth, to my knowledge. No species of armadillo has teeth. I know the ones that I worked with, the 3-banded and the 9-banded armadillos that I worked with, did not have any teeth. So most classification in animal is very complicated. There's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. All of those classifications are very complicated. Most of it has to do with genetics. But when it comes to classifying shrew-type mammals and rodents, it has to do with their teeth and what they eat most of the time. And so the hedgehog is in the shrew-type mammals, shrew-like small mammals, including shrews, hedgehogs, tenrecs, and a couple of other guys here and there. They're kind of a weird category of small mammals. It has to do with their teeth. And an armadillo is more related to the anteater, one of my favorite animals. Anteaters are amazing. Maybe we'll talk about them sometime. So armadillos and anteaters are very close cousins, and they don't have any teeth. They just have a long tongue like that, and they use that long tongue to eat insects as well. So just like the hedgehog eats insects, but they eat them in a very, very different way. So if you are an armadillo or an anteater, you're going to have a long, sticky tongue, no teeth, and especially an anteater, right? They have a super long tongue, like super long, really, really long. And they use their tongue to slurp in all the bugs, but they don't have any teeth in their mouth. One of the few animals that cannot bite you. Cool. Any other questions? I think the hedgehog was super cute. Which was your favorite so far? I'll go ahead and end with our last mammal. We're talking about mammals today, warm-blooded animals with hair that give milk to their babies. For those of y'all just joining us, my name is Amanda. This is Once in a Wild. We're bringing virtual animal encounters right to you, safe from your home. And all of our scrolling information is down below. I'm going to switch our little template here. Aha. We have all kinds of options on this app that we're using today. Okay, we're gonna meet one more animal, and I'm gonna go ahead and set up my extra camera again. And this is his first time being in a virtual encounter, so please be patient with him. And this is not an animal that I can really hold, so I'm gonna let him just be on the floor, if that's okay with you guys. But he is very cool. I promise it'll be worth it. Let's get back to comments. Whoop. Oh, ferrets were Jorge's favorite. I don't blame you at all. So let's see what we see here. Ta-da! Here's the floor. I'm going to get rid of that so you guys can see. I'm also going to go ahead and get rid of this. Bear with me. Okay, so you guys have a nice view here. Okay, I'm going to sit over here. Whoop. You guys see me okay? Everything good? Okay, we ready? We're going to meet our final mammal. He is wonderful. He does eat greens. Let's see if he'll come out and see us. I'm going to place his food right where I want him to be. And all of our animals here at Once in a Wild are trained to go on ground, but this is a very different experience, so we're going to see what happens. Hi. Come here, buddy. Everyone wants to see you. Here he comes. Here. Come here, buddy. I'm not going to force him to do anything because we want to keep him comfortable. Here he comes. Oh, we got a little glimpse of him. He might be leaving us. Now the rest of, I have this kind of blanket down on the floor. And the rest of our floor here is tile, which he does not usually like. So that might work to our advantage to getting him to come over. I'll give him another treat there. And he's checking out everything right now. He's never really been in this room that much. So we're going to be patient with him. There he is. Can y'all see him? A little bit hard to see at that level. Maybe I'll move the camera. You can see him a little better. Hey, buddy. And as he starts getting used to things, I'm sure he'll do a little better. Ha 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 ha. There he is. This is Sandor. And he is a Flemish giant rabbit. Oh, somebody said goat. Good guess. It's a bunny. That's right, Ryan. Skunk is a good guess as well. Haha. Okay. That's okay. And remember, we're learning what works here. That's okay. I did my best to prepare, but you never know. Come here, buddy. And rabbits are also prey, so they are on the cautious side as far as being an animal in general. They are prey. And so he might be a little cautious right now. This is a new situation. This is a new program. It's a new room. But here he is. I'm going to make him feel a little better by giving him a little pet. I thought he'd be more interested in food, but he's leaving us now. And that's okay. I'm going to let him hang out with me. If he wants to come over, that's great. If not, oh well. So he is a Flemish giant rabbit. This is a special breed of rabbit as well. It is a domestic species, but of course rabbits come from wild rabbits originally. And rabbits aren't actually that old of a domesticated species. They are only domesticated for the last 1,000 years or so. He's left us, guys. Sandor. Well, we might just have a fail. Oh, well. But rabbits have been only domesticated for the last 1,000 to 1,500 years, which sounds a long time. But by comparison to other domestic species, such as even ferrets, have been domesticated for almost 2,000 to 2,500 years. 2,000 to 2,500 years. So they're a much older domestic species. I think he's had enough, or maybe he's going to come back. Who knows? So we'll switch back to the other. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, it looks like he's back. Haha. Nope. We're playing it by ear today. Here he comes. I'm going to give him some treats. See how it goes. Boy, come here closer. So he is a very large rabbit. You might have noticed he is very, very big. What about banana? Oh, yeah. So bananas tend to work. There we go. Let's scoot him over a little bit. Whoa. Looks like the banana is the favorite. So that's part of animal training too, is kind of finding out what they like the best. And every situation is going to be different, right? I'll see if I can turn him around for you guys. He is quite a large breed of rabbit. This breed is called the Flemish Giant, and they can actually reach weight up to 22 pounds. And Sandor here is around 18 pounds, and he's not even a year old yet. He's almost going to be a year old. So when it comes to rabbit diet, a banana is definitely a treat item only, but he can get it when doing new things. That's perfectly acceptable. He just took it right out of my hand just now. Goodness gracious. So here's what I'll do. I'll kind of shred it up a little bit so I have lots and lots of them. I'll try to turn him around so you guys can see him a little better. And what was I saying? Rabbits, as far as their diet, is very similar to the guinea pig, only you have to give them, for their pellets, it has to be a rabbit pellet, not a guinea pig pellet. Here he comes. There we go. Good boy. He's doing a great job. Maybe he'll sit up for me. So 80% hay, 80 to 90% is going to be Timothy hay. Let's do this. And then the rest is going to be some pellet and some vegetables. So his greens are going to be things like mustard greens, collard greens, a little bit of kale, a little bit of, dandelion greens are another really good staple item. And then he's going to get treats like vegetables and some banana. Now, one fun fact about rabbits is they should not have carrots. Carrots are very, very high in sugar, even higher in sugar than bananas, as far as I've been told. And again, he doesn't get bananas every day. And if you do rabbit carrots, it's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt them unless you feed them tons and tons and tons of carrots all the time. But it isn't really something that we recommend here once in a while. We recommend sweet potato instead, because it's a little bit healthier. I'm going to scoot down for you guys to see. He is a very sweet rabbit. He's leaving right now, but he's very, very personable. And the Flemish Giant is one of my favorite breeds of rabbit. They're very personable, almost like a dog or a cat in behavior. He's left us again, but he should be back in a little bit. So, yes, those ears. So that is a feature of all rabbits. Rabbits, by the way, are in the Lagomorph family. He's coming back, guys. Yay! They're in the Lagomorph family or classification. Lagomorphia is their classification. And in that family group, Lagomorphia, scientific classification, they're going to be around 80 species or more. But as far as rabbits, to my knowledge, there's about 30 species, and they exist all over the world naturally, except for in Antarctica and Australia. So there are rabbits in Australia, but they're actually feral species. So let's go ahead and bring me back since he's decided to run around. That's okay. Again, we don't force our animals to do anything. It is all by their choice, especially with new encounters like this. So out on program, I would normally bring Sandor in his carrier, his like kind of travel carrier. And by the way, he loves his travel carrier. He goes right in there like a little cave and feels safe. And then I bring him to a program. And then what I would do is actually lay down a little carpet for him on the floor and let him just hang out on the carpet. But he's not used to having to stay still for a camera and all of that. So it's not his fault. We're not going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do, especially in a new room, new situation. We don't want to frighten him or make him uncomfortable. If he comes back over here, I'll turn my other camera on again. But he's more interested in this new room, I think, than any of the treats that I have. And that's okay. Animals have their own choice. They are their own individual animals. They are not toys. They are not a novel, something to be, just buy on a impulse, which is a great point to bring up about rabbits. Rabbits are wonderful animals. They do actually make very, very good pets. There he is. Hi, buddy. They do make very, very good pets for the right people. But they are not to be purchased for like a little child on impulse for Easter. Those kind of things we definitely don't recommend here once in a while. We recommend that you do your research on any type of animal, including cats and dogs or any other domestic species. Make sure you want to be able to provide the best home for them. Rabbits do need a lot of room. Rabbits do not belong in a small cage. We definitely don't recommend that, especially for a really big rabbit like Sandor, right? So if you get a large rabbit, they basically need a room to themselves, which is what Sandor has. So Sandor actually has his own room. He does have like an enclosure in there, but it's like almost half the room. And I almost never put him in there just to stay in there all the time. So he usually has full reign of that whole room. And from time to time, he gets to come out into different rooms. And of course, Sandor travels on program, so he gets to go all over the place. Very important. Rabbits are very active. They like to run around when they're happy. They like to buck and binky and do all kinds of really cool behaviors. They need a lot of room. So that's the main thing you want to provide to your rabbit if you have a rabbit. Another thing you want to provide them is the proper food. Like I said, 80% Timothy or orchard hay, and then the rest is going to be a little bit of pellets, which are made for rabbits, not guinea pigs. You can't just be any pellets, and it needs to be Timothy-based pellets. And then the rest are your leafy greens, so your collard greens, mustard greens, dandelion greens. You can do occasional kale, stuff like that. But those 3 greens are highly recommended. And then occasional fruits and things like that, or extra vegetables like sweet potato for treats. Oh, here's a good question. What are his plans for Easter? So, of course, we don't recommend you just going and buying an Easter bunny for Easter. A live bunny is not a toy. And we don't necessarily want to associate rabbits with Easter, but it's okay. Everybody does. And the reason that, and that's just because we don't want to encourage that buying of rabbits for Easter. It's just not a responsible thing to encourage. But it's okay to associate the Easter bunny, right? That's just tradition. And where that comes from is their fertility. So fertility during Easter in the long time ago when all those holidays were invented back in the old days, they were seen as a symbolism of fertility because rabbits do a lot of breeding, as you know, breeding like rabbits. Rabbits can actually, to give you an image of how many babies they can have, rabbits can actually, if you have a pair of rabbits, a male and female, he might be coming back, guys. I'm keeping an eye on him. Hey, bud. Ta-da! Oh, he decided he's going to eat some greens after running around. I'm going to give him a big, big reward of lots of food for coming back. I've run out of, now I know what he really likes, which is bananas. So, I'm so glad he's back. Thanks for joining us, guy. Sandor. So, what was I saying? Easter. So they're a symbol of fertility because 2 rabbits in 1 year's time, this is 2 rabbits in 1 year can have 998 offspring. So that's 1,000 rabbits in 1 year from 2. That's how many babies they can have. This gives you a perspective. Pretty cool. Are there larger breeds of rabbits than the Flemish? Yes, there's one more. He's the 2nd largest breed in the world. So he can reach about 22 pounds potentially. And from what I was told in my research on this breed, is that they don't stop growing until they're 2 years old, and he's only 1 year old. So he could potentially be about 22 pounds. But there's one more breed of rabbit that's called the continental giant, which can reach about 25 pounds. That's a big rabbit. Now, of course, there's all different kinds of breeds of rabbit. I do recommend that if you can't devote an entire room to your rabbit, don't get a large breed. You want to get something like a Netherland dwarf or a rescue rabbit that's like a mixed breed. And I do recommend for any animals that you bring in as a companion to try rescuing first. Try to look for an animal shelter that has a rabbit. There's tons and tons of rabbits because they do breed a lot. And because people buy them on impulse. He's leaving us again, guys. People do buy them on impulse. A lot of times they don't know what they're getting into. So sometimes they'll get a rabbit and not want them anymore. So a lot of them end up in shelters, just like dogs do, unfortunately. So I do recommend that you go ahead and look for your animal shelters, rabbit rescues. Same thing with the guinea pig. There's guinea pig rescues as well. There's one right here in San Antonio that's really cool. A really cool guinea pig rescue. If you guys are interested, I can give you that information. Because a lot of those animals, like I said, people get them and then they don't want them anymore for whatever reason, and that's not okay. So they need homes first, and then you can, if you need another resource, that's fine. But if you want a smaller rabbit, they don't need nearly as much room, but they still need a lot of exercise. So they have to come out of their enclosure from time to time for exercise. These guys are very, very active animals, and also. I don't recommend a cage for any rabbit. I recommend just a pen. So you can make a pen out of an exercise pen or 2 or 3 exercise pens. So mine is actually 2 exercise pens and an additional part of the enclosure that's like, it's hard to explain. You have to see it, but it's huge. And you can make those enclosures out of a nice, like a fence exercise pen. Put a carpet on the bottom if you're worried about your flooring. I don't recommend keeping them on tile floors because they don't like it. Sandor especially is kind of a diva when it comes to being on tile floors. It's slippery, so I can't really blame him. He's got very, very furry feet. Now you can see him. Look, he decided to show up again. Goodness gracious. What a diva. He is kind of a diva. He doesn't like to be on tile floors, slick floors, and no rabbit really does. And so I recommend that exercise pen. And there's all kinds of things you can look up about rabbit setups and stuff like that. And I recommend putting like a rug, an area rug right there. Rabbits are also very easily potty trained, believe it or not. To me, he's very, very easy to potty train. While he was getting used to his litter box and everything, I kept him enclosed in the pen, but now he's trustworthy all over the place. He won't go to the restroom anywhere but his litter box, which is nice. And the easiest way to litter train a rabbit is by putting their hay actually in the litter. So I use like a wood stove pellet or a pine pellet for his litter in the litter box. And then on top, you just put the hay that they eat. And rabbits usually kind of graze as they use the restroom or use the restroom as they graze. So it's very easy to encourage them to go to the restroom there. And Cedric says that's a lot of babies. Yeah, so that tells you right there, not only are cats and dogs overpopulated, rabbits are also overpopulated when it comes to having, them in human care and things like that. Some people don't spay or neuter them and keep a male and a female together, and then you have tons of babies before you know it. But yeah, that's why they're associated with Easter, though, because they're like a symbol of fertility. Makes sense, right? Well, I'm going to let him hang out and eat the rest of his greens while we close. I'm sorry I didn't open with our song today. Looks like I did have another piece of banana. Yes. Sorry I didn't open with our song today, but we'll go ahead and close with our song if you guys are interested in hearing our jingle. You guys have been an awesome and patient audience with this new system that we're using today. I'm so sorry for our technical difficulties. And this is Amanda with Once in a While, by the way. We're going to put our scrolling information down below. You can reach us at onceinaWhile.com. My number is down below as well. Feel free to call or text me anytime if you have questions. And you guys can book your own virtual animal encounter via Zoom Room now, emphasis on Zoom Room. And what we can do for you guys is customize your animal encounter to your liking. We can make it fun. We can make it more educational. And you can do a 30-minute, an hour, or a 2-hour, which the 2-hour is actually a full tour of everything we have here at Once in a While. We have about 70 animals here at Once in a While. You can see them all with our full tour. Pretty awesome. If you guys are interested, let me know by calling me or contacting our email via onceinaWhile.com. I think Sandor is done, so I'm going to go ahead and close. He was really cute, though, even though he didn't show up for the entire thing. What are you going to do? It's real life, right? Live animals, And you guys are really, really awesome. I have one more question here. How long do they live? He is huge. Yes, he is huge, and he's about a year old. This type of rabbit would live about 10, maybe 12 years old. Some smaller species of rabbit, or breed of rabbit, some smaller breeds of rabbit can live into like around 12 to 14. That would be very, very old for a rabbit, but it does happen. But Sandor's expected life is about 10 or so. And he's only 1. Okay, you guys, and he is around 18 pounds at this point. Oh, and something I forgot to talk about with rabbit ears, that actually helps them to get rid of some body heat. The bigger the ears on an animal, the more they can actually, he's leaving us, I'm just watching him way over there across the room. Whatever. He can get rid of some body heat by having all those veiny ears that he has. Those big giant ears aren't just for good hearing. He also has amazing vision. Those big eyes can let him see almost 360 degrees all the way around his head. He just has to like kind of go like this to see behind him. Pretty awesome. Ears can hear really well. They can hear up to 2 miles away. And those ears also help him to cool off if he's too hot. Pretty handy. Oh, yes, they absolutely can be litter box trained. And I did talk about that just a little bit ago. It might have been a lag on your question. But rabbits are really easy to litter box train because they like going in the same spot all the time. And I can go into more details on that maybe in another video or something like that. Or I'm more than happy to message you or whatever if you want. But as long as you put their hay and the litter together, they typically want to graze on hay and then they just use the restroom at the same time. Pretty handy. And he's very reliable when it comes to the litter box. Okay, guys, you have been an amazing audience. As always. Let's see. And we're going to go ahead and close with our really fun song. I hope to see you guys next time, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3:30 Central Time, PM, of course, not 3:30 a.m. We're not here at 3:30 a.m. 3:30 p.m. Central Time, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday till further notice. We hope to see you again. And thanks for all your patience today, and we'll see you next time. And once again, happy birthday, Cross! Cross last month, and happy birthday once again. Thank you for joining us today. If you're still there. We'll see you guys next time. Bye guys, see you next time.